Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very, very special day here on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day, and I am joined by the man they call...
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Look at it, Tev.
Look at it.
Ready for the hood? Good morning. If you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello. As number one pirate just has, and thank you very much for the host as well, number one pirate baby. You are being summoned there in the chat.
Hello. I'm not feeling the best at the moment.
This is interesting. Usually I'm looking down at my screen to see the Twitch chat, but because we've got... Let's give you a little bit of an explanation. I'll try and verbalise it, obviously, because we have audio versions of this show as well. So we are sat in the studio at the moment, at the studio desk. We've got the wide 4K cam all the way over there. When we do gameplay content, which we will be doing after this show, around 12 o'clock, when Josie is in playing more Death Stranding, we have a 3-screen portable setup that the man they call Baby rolls over here. So it's all set up, fully wraparound setup here. Anyway, usually we don't use that when we're doing the scoop, but I don't know why we haven't been doing, but we are today, and it's just there. So I've got we have a chat monitor over to our left now, off screen, that we can use to see when anyone's disappointed. Oh, the pirate is disappointed when anyone's engaging with us in the chat, and it's there. But anyway, before we start waffling on that, let's give you a little bit of who we are, what we do, what this is, and why you guys are here. We are Ice Cream, and this show at 10 a.m. each and every single weekday is The Scoop, our daily dose of news from the games industry and beyond that we bring to you guys. We give you our thoughts, and we want your thoughts if you are live on Twitch in the chat as well. You guys are the only guys that get to interact, because we turn this into a standalone, on-demand video podcast that goes to YouTube around an hour or so after we go off air. So if you're in the chat, make sure you get involved. Make sure you chat, because you're the only people that get the opportunity. We then turn the video podcast into an audio podcast that we upload to four different audio spaces, and they are iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud.
Yeah.
So the reason I stole there is because I used to go iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, because that's the order that we kind of got it all sorted kind of stuff. Well, SoundCloud first, but now I want to save SoundCloud to the end, because that's the big daddy. That's where everyone's listening to it. So thank you to all of our audio listeners and anyone that might be watching this on YouTube as well. Do you know, I don't actually give enough of a shout out to YouTube. So if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to just let us know in the comments. Just say, I'm watching this, and do it now. Okay, we'll give you a second. Just scroll down to the comments bit. Yeah, that bit there, yeah. Okay, and type, I'm watching this. Full stop, send. Boom, thank you, yes. Okay, we will respond. But yes, anyone that is in the Twitch chat, please go down to the chat and type, I'm watching this as well. Do that as well. No, I'm going to joke, you don't have to. But yes, today is a big day. Do you know what? Let's bring you in closer as well. Let's bring you into the closed cam. Actually, do you know what? I feel like we need some Undertaker sort of like... Dong! We need to turn the lights off. Dong! Dong!
That is not a video playing either. That is real life.
Yeah.
You'll set smoke alarm off.
I'm feeling a bit dodged today, so I've brought in my PUBG.
How long is that cable?
Infuser. And that's the one I got out of the tech desk. Yeah. Anyway, so it plugs in with a controller sort of cable, like a USB-C or whatever they're called. And yeah, look at the size of that. I literally could walk back to Manchester with it. So yeah, there you go.
That's wicked.
I will try keep it out of the way so we don't look like we're in some sort of like boudoir or something.
Lads, your studio's on fire.
Dead man walking. Okay, let's put it over there. It's kind of out of the way-ish.
It's alright, it smells good. I'm not asked.
It looks like baby's laptop's on fire. It genuinely does. So for those of you that don't know what an infuser is, it's basically a little box that kicks out humidity into the room, but there's Albasol in there so that it helps you breathe. So we have some big news. One thing that baby's not prepped for is, I don't suppose you can bring up the tweet.
Oh, potentially. Yeah,
so for those of you that don't know, !socials in the chat will give you access to all of our social links. And if you were looking at the Ice Cream Uploads Twitter account, which is twitter.com/Ice Cream Uploads, or the Ice Cream Uploads Facebook page, which is, funnily enough, facebook.com/Ice Cream Uploads, you will have seen a very teasery video that went out last night around 5:30. Bang on 5:30 actually.
Oh shit.
The Bibarino has the video. Let's play this for you guys right now.
Hopefully it should play the sound as well.
There we go. Yeah! Yeah! Who's ready for the 3P? Bam! Coming soon, sponsored by Nick and GTA Mega.
Okay, it's just going to go around in a loop.
There we go. So keep it going over and over again. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is that? What is that? I can hear you screaming, even though I know you all know already. Oh, you're not even there. You're over there now. I'll bring you back over here. Essentially, we have our own tournaments. Some may say it's the biggest and best thing to happen to competitive gaming since Shroud. And do you know what? We wouldn't disagree. But you can have your own opinions. We have the Ice Cream Uploads Invitationals. We started off with the very first Invitational 2018. Not that we meant it to be an annual thing, but it's kind of looking like that at the moment. We will do more this year. So we had the first Invitational 2018 at the end of the year. Then in 2019, we had our second Invitational, Double Trouble. And the first one was a 1v1 tournament. The second one was a 2v2 tournament. And we're now on the third Invitational, Triple Threat. Before I go into that, let's jump into a news article that is now live on the Ice Cream Uploads website. So if you go to icecreamuploads.com, you will be able to see the Ice Cream website, and we have a news article there. Let's bring it up on screen. So the article starts off with...
It's standard.
It starts off with, "Oh, you didn't know? Hello, ladies." Hello. I see you wouldn't be where we are without our awesome and vibrant community. And seeing as our first two ICU Invitationals was such a huge success, we've heard the PES community calling for another chance to settle some differences and get back onto the virtual pitch with us. We heard you loud and clear and hope to make our next Invitational more inclusive and accessible to our passionate community. This will be our first tournament, which will be only accepting non-professional players. And part of the reasoning for that is because, Kepper was just too good and get out of here. No, we've done a little bit of research and looking around the ecosystem, esports on Twitch, and when you get pros alongside casual gamers and stuff, the idea of these tournaments, they're supposed to be fun as well as good content. And if you're just playing against pros and just getting annihilated, it's not fun. So we know that some people that may be involved that aren't technically pros are really good. That's is what it is. That's Absolutely. The nature of the beast. Yeah. But by taking the pros out of the equation, it makes it for a bit of a better, not one-sided viewing experience, which is good.
Well, we are a community channel, so we want to bring the community into playing these competitions. There's competitions out there for professional players, and they're getting paid for it, whereas we're giving it for you guys that may not have the opportunity to be able to go and do that. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. And confirmation as well. Further on that, we decided to make it a 3-man co-op tournament. I've seen Mr. Vernimator on Twitter, suggesting that might be the case. Could it be a 3v3 this morning? It could be! So, in true numerical style, we had the 1v1s for our first tournament. Our second tournament was 2v2, so our third tournament has to be 3v3.
Absolutely.
So that is the reason for the naming of the Triple Threat, and we'll jump back into the article. Further, we decided to make it a 3-man co-op tournament to make it more exciting for everyone, including the casters. I'm sure we don't really need any more excitement, to be fair. So the dynamic of having to use more football brains on the pitch will put emphasis on teamwork and playing to any kind of strengths you and your team may have. This will also be our first tournament which include a group stage and knockout stages. Pretty good, eh? So rather than just straightforward 16 tree bump knockout, groups as well. More content! So myself, this is obviously written by the Bibber himself, as it says at the bottom of the article, and Mr. Graham Day will be casting over the games you will be playing live from the Ice Cream Upload studio on Friday the 28th February 2020 via twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. So even if you're not participating, please join us for this huge community night. We'll look forward to giving you more information very, very soon. Hugs and kisses, the Boobster himself.
Thank you very much for helping me write this, Jess, because I've written it this morning. It was not as good as that.
One thing that isn't mentioned in the article as well, which is a nice little coup for us at Ice Cream Uploads as well, is that this tournament will be live on the twitch.tv homepage as well. So hopefully that adds a little bit more buzz and pizzazz to the event and kind of gives a little bit of a high five back to the community and the people that are taking the time out to get involved and I mean, let's face it, out of all of the teams, only one's going to win, so the majority of people are going to lose for your viewing pleasure, which is a big thing.
We're absolutely not going to fix it so that the ice cream team that's going to be represented in this tournament isn't going to get to the final, at least. But then again, looking at the people who are potentially going to be playing. Whew.
Yeah, I was going to say, the ice cream team doesn't include me in news. This is awkward.
Jamie on his current 50 losing streak is going to do wonders in this, isn't it?
Just jumping back to the chat quickly for a second. Danny Day 83. That name seems a tad familiar. Thank you very much for the sub and the 3-month streak. That's my smoking hat, missus. Thank you very much. Ads plays. Good morning. Mate.
Thank you for the host too.
Yeah, absolutely appreciate it. So, yes, as mentioned, the tournament will be taking place on the 28th of February. Gerrit bookmarked me. That's a Gerrit with 2 R's, not a T in the middle.
Very northern of you.
Gerrit booked, because that's Friday 28th of February, 6 p.m. we will be starting that tournament. It will be on the Twitch homepage, so make sure you're involved. And if you are taking part in the competition as well, I mean, make sure you bring your A game. Absolutely. Even if it's not on the pitch. I mean, make sure you get yourself out there, because you're going to be on the front page of Twitch, ladies and gentlemen. Which, yeah. I mean, obviously that's good for us because we get front page exposure, but it's good for anyone else that's taking part as well, because it's nice to be able to use our position. Obviously, we're Twitch partners because of the work we do with Twitch. It's nice to be able to use our position to get that front page exposure for us and the people that are involved in our community.
Anyone who's been familiar with these format that we've done before will know that your socials are going to get shared. It's as much as showcasing your profile as it is us showing everybody else what we can do. So we've got the studio, we've got the casters, we've got the equipment, but ultimately we're showing your gameplay. Like, the captains will be streaming this again, so it's going to be your profile with your team. I probably won't use your voice chat because there may be some exploits going on in there that we can't control. So again, it's going to be your profile, it's going to be your socials, it's going to be everything of your team that we'll be sharing, so everybody gets some linkage, love, analytics.
Yeah, I mean, we can obviously control the voice stuff on the fly. We will have for Bibby sounds so far away. That's why.
Yes, tilted.
So yeah, we will have multiple streams showing it all once. Essentially a multi-Twitch sort of setup where we can jump into one game or a specific game that takes our fancy. But if you want to stream that, if you just want to stream the gameplay, that's fine. If you want to stream it and show obviously your channel off, then by all means feel free to do that. Check out any of the boom.tv tournaments and things that have happened. Obviously not with the same level of pizzazz that we're going to do.
Obviously.
I mean, Bibby wasn't sorting his collar out then to do that, but I just thought I'd jump in with
He just wanted to pop his collar, didn't he? Usher over here.
So yeah, feel free, and if you are getting one of the invitational, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. The invitational is we pick out people that have been present in our community or within the game of choice, people that we feel essentially deserve a high five for doing that. That's the point. It is an invitational. There may be some wildcard entrants as well, which is not necessarily invitational, but where we put it out to allow other people to get involved. I don't know. The only way you'd know that is to follow all of our social channels.
Well, ultimately, we like to support the people that support us the most, so they obviously get first dibs. They can go out and find their players. Wheels potentially have been set in motion already, not mentioning any names, but I'm sure you'll see over the next month or so. It's, 5 weeks away? It's literally 5 weeks on Friday until the big day. So you be sure to be keeping an eye on all of our socials, which is Ice Cream Uploads across everything, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. 5 weeks. 5 weeks this Friday.
One thing that you will see as well is we may just start wetting the whistle a little bit early. Obviously, we've got 5 weeks to go, but we may start sharing a few clips from previous invitations. So if you are new here, which the Scoop obviously has broken new ground for us. We are meeting new people every day. So if you are new here, make sure you hit the follow button. But if you are new here and you haven't seen any of our previous content when it's come to the invitationals, then check out the social media, because we will be sharing clips so you can get an idea of how it feels, what the event looks like, and what sort of content you can expect on the night as well.
I mean, I don't know if it actually mentions it in there, but obviously people who are familiar with our invitationals previously will know that it's a Pro Evolution Soccer tournament. Don't actually think I mentioned it in the article to say that it's a Pro Evolution tournament. So this is not a FIFA tournament. This is Pro Evolution. It's not CSGO. It's not Fortnite. It's not PUBG. It's Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yes. So that's it. We've gone through the trilogy, the solos, the duos, and now the trios. We're on to the triple threat 3v3. So obviously we want to kind of mark off that trilogy with obviously sticking to a tried and tested format with Privilege and Soccer. Where we go forward, maybe it's not PES, maybe it's something else, but you know,
who knows?
The only way you know is to get in the game. And thank you very much to BK Connor, Mr. Connor, in the chat for sharing the links. Those are the social links that you need to be clicking up and hitting follow on. One thing we also haven't mentioned in detail, I'm not sure if it was in the article, I can't remember, because I'm good at reading but not actually retaining the information. Well, I say I'm good at reading, that's questionable at most of the time. The event itself will be sponsored by Nacon Gaming, or Nacon, and GT Omega. Obviously, we're big fans of GT Omega, as you can see, just there. GT Omega provide our chairs in the studio, and they. I won't go into detail of what, but GT Omega and Nacon are putting up some prizes. So every invitational that we've had so far, there has been prizes for people to win. This invitational will just be a little bit better than anything we've done before.
Absolutely.
So that's all I'm saying now. So make sure you, if you do get offered an invite to the invitational, then thank you very much for the host, D-Mac. Much appreciated. Good morning. How the devil are you, good sir? But anyway, we will come back to invitational topic in a little while. Let's jump into the actual news from the games industry and beyond. That's our little bit for now. We'll come back to that towards the end of the show. But in true games industry fashion, I mean, I say true games, it's not really been many delays, has there, recently?
I'm scared shitless at this point.
What about Resi?
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way that's getting delayed. I mean, the thing with Resi is they've had a full year kind of like with the engine, with the city, everything's kind of made there. They can just go, oh, yeah, it's fine. Everyone else is going, delays.
Well, technically it's 3 years, isn't it? Because they had the 2 years leading up to Resident Evil 2 coming out. In fact, it was way more than that. I think it was 2015 that they actually announced that Resident Evil 2 was getting a remake. So they've had all that time until 2019 February to bring the game out. And now I'm shitting myself that this game is going to get delayed. But fingers crossed.
It's fine. Morning, guys. How you both doing? Says D-Mac. How you doing, Bib?
I'm just about to drink my brew, mate, while you read this news article, but I'm doing splendid, mate. Cheers, mate.
But how are you doing, Bib?
I'm doing fine, D-Mac. How are you doing, buddy?
But what are you doing now? Okay. Baby was drinking his drink there, by the way, for those of you listening on our audio productions. Anyway, jumping into the news now, as soon as we have it on screen, and I've mentioned it for about 3 minutes now. Another delay to the content that you would expect to be enjoying at home, and that is the game that is known as Dying Light 2 has been delayed to an unknown date. This is written by Emma Kent from Eurogame. With more details to follow in the coming months is the tagline. Yet another spring game has been delayed, as today developer Techland announced Dying Light 2 will not make its scheduled release window. Originally planned for release sometime this spring, Techland explained more time was needed to deliver an experience that lives up to our own high standards and the expectations of you, our fans. We know you are awaiting the game eagerly, and we want to deliver exactly what we promised. We apologise for this unwelcome news. As of yet, there's no word on when the game will now be released, but Techland says it will share more details in the coming months. Last week, Cyberpunk 2077 and Marvel's Avengers were both delayed until September, while the Final Fantasy VII Remake will now release in April. At least Animal Crossing seems to be staying put.
Great.
Wonderful! I mean, the thing is, though, that mentions Cyberpunk 27, it's 2077, Marvel's Avengers and Final Fantasy Remake last week. Iron Man VR got delayed at the end of the week as well, and now Dying Light has been delayed. Doom was delayed obviously last year. The Last of Us has been delayed to later on in the year as well. So interesting. I'm not sure. I can't quite put my finger on why that is. I'm stuck somewhere between like 3 different sort of things. So we've spoken about. Let's jump back to the studio. We spoke about April being this like absolutely horribly chock period where all the games are coming out. Not necessarily April, but March, April, May, that spring sort of time. Everything's coming out in one period there. So have some of the developers gone, maybe we should just move it back so we're not in there, not realising that everyone else is doing the same thing? Have they all just decided to get out of that window and jumped into another window? But then could it be one of them's gone and moved, and then someone else has gone, oh, okay, well, that's a precedent there. They've shown that it's all right to move your game, and we were kind of worried that we would get into that crunch sort of mentality, so maybe we should move. Or the third option, so it's either they wanted to get out of everyone's way and they've all done it. One of them has shown that you can move without getting too much backlash, so they've all thought, okay, we'll take that opportunity. Or the third one, is it just a case of they've gone, well, we've heard rumours, and not even rumours, they will know more than we will from a hardware standpoint, because we've heard rumours that Xbox is backwards compatible across all of it. Well, the Xbox Series X will be, rumour, unless that has been confirmed. But then the rumour as well is that the PS5 will be backwards compatible. So they're probably thinking, actually, if we go out now, people are going to see it as a PS4 game. Whereas if we go out at the end of the year, people are going to see that they can play it on both formats. Craig must be late into the chat. Is the studio on fire? it was even worse when it was over here.
It's my mixtape. It's just simmering.
Can't handle the smoke. Anyway, it's my PUBG infuser.
I don't know what kind of precedent this sets, because that's five pretty big games that have now been delayed. I don't know. I mean, I went on a massive rant last week about the way that they submitted CD Projekt Red, the way that they submitted their PR to the world, saying that the game's playable, blah blah blah. It's free to you can play the whole game now, but it's not. We need to add more polish, that kind of thing. And I think it's just, how can they get it so wrong? Like, they have all the time in the world to be able to set the date, an achievable date, not 2 months before the game's due out to think, actually, we need more time. Like, surely 6 months ago you should be thinking, hold on a minute, if you're working 40 hours a week, we'll just use the 9 to 5%. You're working 40 hours a week. You're working 40. The times that by how many staff you've got. That's how much time you've got into the game. How are they getting this kind of thing wrong? Are they just going down the line? They've got their own roadmap and thinking, actually, we can go back and we can tweak that little bit. That map's not quite as good as we want it to be. That room looks a bit shit. We'll rebuild that one.
See, just before I answer, the issue for me isn't the delay, it's the initial date being so wrong, like you're saying. Bibby, says Connor. I think the thing with something creative like that, it's not necessarily black and white in the essence of, I know it's going to take me around 40 hours to get to where I want to, but then maybe about 30 hours in, you could be like, actually, I've got 10 hours left. And I realised at about 20 hours that I wanted to go down this tangent, but after going down it, I realised that, okay, maybe I'm going to hit roadblocks, but in doing that, I've learned stuff that would make the other tangent be better. So there's that sort of element where they could have just uncovered something better that they can go on. But yeah, the bit that I was kind of touching on before is, I think they're probably thinking, if we push it back, and not necessarily just push it back and wait, but if we push it back because we can come out in that PS5 Xbox Series X window, we can spend extra time working on visual fidelity, because now we've got system architecture, we've got the dev kit and stuff from Sony, and we know how backwards compatibility is going to work. I mean, obviously, if they know, I'm assuming they will have some idea of that. Obviously NDA to hell, so they won't be able to say it. But if they know that, okay, well, backwards compatibility is going to work, but that if we use an extra 2 months or whatever to work in this, that, and the other, then we can have the game coming out on PS4. You can stick your PS4 disc in your PS5. It will auto update or whatever, so that you don't have to, or it'll just do the Assassin's Creed thing where you spend the extra £10 or whatever. But I think that will probably be the kind of thing where, like The Last of Us is seen as a game for both generations. Best game of Generation 3. Also, for most people, one of the games that they played on Gen 4. So I wouldn't be surprised if, more so for The Last of Us, and probably for Techland, and not The Last of Us, more so for Cyberpunk, but probably for Techland and Dying Light 2, I wouldn't be surprised if they've gone, okay, if we push back, then we get cross-selling, we get the upscaling, we get the ray tracing, all the floppy terrors that come with...
See, them pushing it back, that obviously makes total sense. I just don't want this to be it seems like a precedent at the moment. Everyone's doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not right. There shouldn't be this close to launch, with sometime in the spring, we're looking at what, 2 months away. I don't understand how it's taken them this long to be able to say, actually, we need more time. That is the only issue that I've got. Fair enough. I'd much rather you take the time to release the game. Just don't understand why it's this soon. Like, you're coming out in 2 months' time. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm not a game developer. I don't know. I've got a vague idea of what goes into it purely by watching documentaries and things like that. I mentioned the video game movie about 1,000,001 times on this podcast. That give me a kind of insight into what it's like to be one. But even the small indie devs will know at some point down the road, like, oh my god, I'm 12 months into a 18-month project. I'm going to need more time. We need to polish it more, or we need to build more stuff. I've had a better idea. We can put a little bit more storyline in there just to make it more well-rounded. I just don't understand why it's so late, or what they think is capable with the people that they've got working with them. Fair enough, the introduction of the new Xbox and the PS5 developer kits being sent to these developers to potentially say, put your game into that. You can you can do more with that. You can up-res it or whatever they need to do. You got more power. Blah 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 blah. Teraflops. Blah. You can add more value to your game using that. And do you know what? If they come out and said that, do you think they'd be NDA'd in saying that? Because it should be absolutely no. It should be no surprise to anyone that these big companies like Ubisoft, like Techland, like Sony, like whoever it is, Sony's just a fucking stupid one, that would have a developer kit. We know that they're out in the wild. Surely, fair enough they're not showing they may not be showing pictures of them, but surely we should be understanding that they have these kits to be able to test with. I mean, it's been the case in every single console generation ever that these massive companies that create the games will have theirs at least a year before the new console comes out to be able to make games for them, because the Sony will not want half shit games. I mean, usually launch day lineups aren't exactly the best in the world anyway, half-baked games.
I mean, it'll be common sense that they're out, but they never get officially announced. The thing with a dev kit pre-launch is that all comes down to shareholder stuff. If they are announcing that things are being developed or software is being given away or whatever, that then impacts on share price potential, which then can impact on earnings. And if the wrong message gets out in the wrong way and stuff. So with anything like that, it's always that don't comment on rumour sort of like thing. We don't comment on rumour, don't comment on speculation. So the best way to do that is to not do it all. So I imagine that they probably are NDA'd with what they can and can't say. So the simplest way is just don't say anything.
Yeah. Do you reckon they've got two teams working on these projects then? Because they would have had, for 2 years at least, that team working on this game, Dying Light 2. And then when the new developer kit comes in, their best people will then take over working on the dev kit for that, and then they'll have the B team or the sub team coming in and finishing off the rest of the game.
Not necessarily. I think there will be yes, ER squad says Enix. Tons of delays, but it seems very much like they're waiting to get the dev consoles built for the next gen as well, especially with Microsoft not giving next dev consoles out yet. I mean, there's no guarantee that Microsoft have or haven't given the Series X dev consoles out yet. It's all rumour and speculation.
Well, we know the PlayStation ones are at least out there.
Yeah, because we've seen some people thinking, fuck the NDA, I'm going to take pictures.
Well, that's it. If those shit companies that are posting this stuff, not adhering to the NDAs, are posting it, then you'd expect the big companies like Rockstar or whoever it is that wants these dev kits they'll be getting them by the dozen, do you know what I mean? They'll be flying through the door.
They'll already be out there. We assume, we can... I think I've just closed... Yeah, I've just closed Twitch somehow. We assume they will already be out. It's very, very likely. It's pretty much nailed on, but we don't have that. Very likely. We don't have that absolute confirmation.
Yeah.
But we can assume. Anyway, the point though is that I think even though some devs and stuff will have them, they don't have the clarity of when they will get them, and I know that from internally, so that they will. For some of them, and the fact that it's happening across the board, I would say that we can take that as a sign that if it was 1 or 2 games, it's just okay. We've not managed our time. We want to do the best that we can, so we're going to delay it. It's fine, boom. But because it's happening across the board, there will probably be some games within there. So, which one was the one that was only put back a month?
Final Fantasy.
A month, 4 weeks. You can't really rewrite the script. That's the polish, probably working on day one patches or stuff like that. That will be on them, but when you're putting a game back 3 to 4 months, that's when there's something big there.
Absolutely.
And because so many of them have done it at the same time, I would assume that is something because it's across the board as well. We've had Square Enix doing it. Doom was different because they just wanted to polish it. That was last year. But I mean, Square Enix, Sony, Naughty Dog, should I say, Techland have done it. Multiple companies are putting things back. I would assume that is because of new access. So they've got access to new technology. The dev kits maybe have had an update, whatever it is. It could just be getting the dev kits and going, actually, do you know what? We got the dev kits and we thought we could incorporate that into our roadmap, but it turns out that actually, for us to fully use the dev kit, we need 3 extra months so that we can...
Do you think then, if for instance the new consoles wasn't coming out this year, do you reckon this would have been a problem? Do you reckon these games would have launched with their initial days? Because like you're saying now, it's making perfect sense, the fact that the new consoles are coming out. The chances are in the last 4 months they've received their dev kits, and that's why they're putting them back, because I think actually we can program a little bit more into it and make it better. Do you reckon then, because the news has broken over the last 2 months, when these consoles are coming out, I mean, we've even got a look at the Xbox One, we haven't had a look at the PS5 one yet, but we've seen the dev kit. Do you reckon that is, if it was coming out, if the PlayStations and Xbox were coming out next year, that these games would have hit the deadline? Because I 100% think that they would have done that.
I reckon so. I mean, maybe Final Fantasy, like you say, that's only a month and it's not coming out at the end of the year now. They've just put it back. Yes, it's a bit of a shock to their finances because it's a different financial year and stuff, but that's their own reasoning for that, I'd imagine.
Yes, that's what I mean. That's the most mental part about it.
Hitting a different tax year. Yeah. But clearly there was something that would have been bad and would have impacted on the tax year anyway, so they've probably just had, like, not crisis talks as such, because they're always kind of seen as negative, but something along that ilk where it's like, actually, do you know what, if we release it, it's not going to be great and we're going to get slated and it won't do very well. If we move it to the next financial year, we'll have to take a hit in this tax year, but we will make up for that by having a product that sells well in the next tax year. I mean, if it doesn't sell well, then fuck. But I think that's kind of thing.
With Final Fantasy, I'll be very, very surprised if this game is shit. Purely because of the name that's written on the front of the box. I genuinely think this game is going to sell so many fucking copies. They're going to eclipse their sales forecast for this game, hands down. Rewind. I'll be very surprised if this game doesn't sell as well as it does, purely because of the name that's on there, whether or not it reviews as well as it probably should do, considering they've completely changed the combat. I'm sure the storyline is going to be slightly different, because again, we had the 4 discs, whereas now we can fit everything on 1 disc, but it's still going to be in 3 different parts. I'm very interested to see how that plays out, but to change it for a month to go in the next tax year, that's very weird. Like, have they just had a really good year this year and they don't need the sales of this game to take them to their predicted sales? I don't know. It's very weird that they're going to be starting the next financial year off with this.
I mean, it might just be a case of, I mean, they might have made the sales, or they might just say, look, we're not making the sales, but we will make up for it going ahead, which can lower share prices, but can also improve on share prices if people have got that degree of certainty going forward. But yeah, I don't know enough of the market to be able to comment on that. But fire, says Vern. Another one in the chat. That's my PUBG infuser. Almost oiling the studio. A lot of huge story changes already with the demo leak. Some people might not like it. They changed huge plot points to fit with the game only being in Midgar. None of that means anything to me because I've not played Final Fantasy VII properly.
I mean, again, it's the Resident Evil 2 scenario all over again. The fact that they're remaking a beloved game and just changing the story. It wasn't one for one when they made the remake of Resident Evil 2. There was obviously some plot changes through there, like we've mentioned it. I won't go into detail again, but the fact that Mr. X now follows you around Leon and Claire's story, when it just used to be Claire's. But yeah, it's they need to change it. They can't keep it one for one, but just update the graphics. That's weird. You can't.
I agree.
It's a brand new audience.
Because if you just stick with the exact same script and the exact same words, then it's literally just like, oh look, we've just added pictures. Yeah, and it's like, but when you add the new camera angles and having free cams and stuff, you get actual restrictions in terms of, okay, say if some guy bursts out of a wall, if you've got a free camera, him bursting out of the wall, you might not even be looking at him, so that huge impact moment's gone, and we have to change the way things works. And so,
the original Final Fantasy game came out 23 years ago. That is a completely different set of people that are going to be playing. It's a brand new audience, shall we say. If we say the turnover's every 20 years or so, you're going to get a brand new audience. I was playing this game, probably not when I was 7 because it would have been way too complex for me, but I was at least 10 playing the game. So you're going to have 2 different types of generations, maybe even 3 playing this game. It needs to be different. It can't be the same. And you expect that from a remake. It's not a remaster, it's a remake.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's it. You need the differences in it. I just want to jump back to the chat. Let's get vaporised, said Fern. Hope you're well. Ice cream applauds. Quick toilet break at work, so I thought I'd pop in and say hello. Hello! Good morning. Thank you for the poop chat. Much appreciated. Where is it?
Beans is in as well.
I did see it. The chat keeps scrolling away. No!
Hello!
Do you know, I can't see your comments, Beans. The chat's moving too quick. God damn you people communicating. There we go. Hello. There we go. Beans and Vern in the chat. Good morning. Have you, what are your thoughts on the next invitational? I mean, I'm assuming you are Graham. GGWP. What are your thoughts on the next invitational? I'm having a woo.
Woo! He's having a Ric Flair. Asim says exactly this. Refresh for new audiences while playing homage and nods to the original. Otherwise, you get the boring as hell Shenmue 3. Harsh but true. I've never played a Shenmue game in my life.
Yeah, me neither. But we can always count on Mr. Tanvir to have the take because he plays literally every game that's ever existed ever. Meanwhile, 127,000 hours into PUBG. Ta-da! Fun fact. Go ahead, let's go off topic. I was playing PUBG last night because I'm at the end of the season. Actually, let's pause on the PUBG topic. Question in the chat from Beans. Have you guys had a woo today? I have.
I'm a very regular man.
I've had a woo this morning. But yes, I was playing PUBG last night because I've never platinumed a game on the PlayStation. I've done whatever the Xbox equivalent is on easier games like Fight Night Round 3 and stuff like that. I'm not a trophy hunter kind of person, but I have one more thing to do on PUBG, which is like kill 10 people whilst being in a vehicle, and I needed like 4 or I had 4 or 5, and I needed like 5 or 6, whatever it was, to get 10 kills while in a vehicle. So I thought, there's no to play for. I've done all my challenges. Season pass ends last night, so I might as well just go after kills like that. Anyway, I went into a one-man squad game. Eliminated a full squad, like almost everyone, whilst being in a vehicle as well, because I was in a buggy. I kept jumping to the back seat shooting.
So have you got one more to kill? Have you got it now?
Well, I got what I thought was my 10th last night, but I downed him because it was squads obviously, and I'm solo, and then I'm trying to finish him, but like the blue hit over him, so I shot him, and then the blue killed him, so I don't think it counted as a kill. So I think I need one more kill while in the vehicle.
I'm not a trophy hunter, but I love collecting the trophies. Like I like the trophies where they're achievable, not play this game for 743 hours while shooting only your pistol for at least 700
dies, no
kills.
saves on super hard difficulty level.
Don't do that shit. If it's chaptered ones where it says like complete chapter 1, yay, complete the game in under 10 hours, fine. That's achievable. I can try that one. Find all the pieces of newspaper around. That's fine. I can do that. But it's the ones where they want you to literally play the game for 700 hours.
Yeah,
I can't do that. Don't give me that shit.
I think that's the reason why I wasn't ever intending to platinum PUBG on the PlayStation. Because I've been playing it, the missions and stuff are like some of them are simple, like play a game, get a kill or whatever. But then some of them was like, there was one called Airborne, which is obviously I don't know enough about the military. Airborne is like the 101st Regiment or something like that. Play the game and jump out of playing 101 times. So do 101 games, which is actually quite quick. You can churn through a bunch of them if you're dying straight away. So I did that ages ago and stuff like that. But yeah, this one is difficult. It's not difficult when you're, say, playing on the PC or something because you've got the mouse and keyboard thingy, but when you're in a vehicle that's moving, trying to get your shots on target to kill someone is stupid. So I've been driving around, jumping to the passenger seat, shooting, jumping back to the driver's seat, going, and it's so difficult, but I'm at the point where I've almost done it now. So anyway, back on topic. Is that John Woo? Does that mean it's a fight to get it? Oh, yeah, we've all had some of those. Toilet's getting destroyed.
Oh my god, what have we turned into this morning?
Thank you very much for the toilet banter in the chat this morning. Anyway. So, yes, Dying Light 2 has been delayed, as well as many other games. But it is what it is. Our thoughts and impressions are that's potentially because of new hardware coming in. If it was only 1 or 2 games being delayed, then, you know, games do get delayed. Doom got delayed last year.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy's been delayed this year, but the fact that so many games have been pushed back, maybe they're working to incorporate the new hardware, or they just want to be close to the launch so they can get the cross-generation releases. But we will no doubt find out in due course. Hopefully within the next month or so, we'll know exactly when the PS5 is releasing, and probably when we get that sort of launch window and confirmation what it looks like and hardware stuff. That's, I'd imagine, when the red tape is lifted and companies can start talking a bit more about launches and not necessarily giving the reasons why they're delayed, but obviously the whole launch stuff. Anyway, jumping into our next bit of news for you guys. Ubisoft files lawsuit against Rainbow Six Siege DDoS attackers. Multiple people from around the world are named in the lawsuit. This is written by Nicole Carpenter for Polygon. Nice to see Polygon. We don't tend to feature them that often. Don't know why. Maybe just because they're just not as quick and on the ball with the news, and when they do write the news, it's usually massive. But good. Anyway, jumping in. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege publisher Ubisoft has filed a lawsuit against the owners of an alleged distributed denial of service, aka DDoS attack website. Multiple people from across the globe are listed in the lawsuit, which was filed Thursday in a California court and obtained by Polygon. DDoS attacks in Rainbow Six Siege have been a big problem for Ubisoft. In September 2019, the developer enacted a multi-pronged plan. That's so hard to say. Plan to stop players that perpetuate DDoS attacks, which create lag in multiplayer matches and can crash servers. Ubisoft said it saw a 93% drop in the frequency of attacks after it shared its plan. Now it's looking to quash the problem from the source. A group of people, the company says, are selling subscriptions to DDoS services. Let me just stop for a second. If you are subscribing to a DDoS service, you
need to get a life.
are a twat. Let me just bluntly say it. Get a life. Anyway, back into the news. The defendants, which allegedly operate a website called SNG.1, sell subscriptions for up to $299.85 for lifetime, in quote marks, access to the server. According to the lawsuit, a monthly subscription costs around $30. A screenshot from the complaint showed Fortnite, FIFA 20 and Call of Duty Modern Warfare as potential targets too. Ubisoft says the site owners are, in quotes, well aware of the harm, in quotes, that their services have caused the company. Open quotes again. Indeed, the defendants have gone out of their way to taunt and attempt to embarrass Ubisoft for the damage its services have caused to Rainbow Six Siege, end quote. Ubisoft's lawyers write, the lawsuit points to a tweet sent by an alleged defendant. The tweet is embedded there, which is a smiley face emoji. Good job at Ubisoft support. Keep up the work. And then there's a linked picture, which I'm just going to click on. I don't know if it's showing up there. Yeah, the embedded tweet. No, the tweet is gone. That's probably why it's not showing up. Which article? There we go. Loading back up. Likewise, Ubisoft alleges the defendants create a fake seizure notice on their website that falsely claimed Microsoft and Ubisoft had taken over the website. The lawsuit says that the defendants admitted they created the seizure notice in order to get Ubisoft to admit that they have a problem, whatever that means. Ubisoft has asked the court to shut down the websites and award damages and fees. Polygon has reached out to Ubisoft for more information. SNG.1 did not return a request. Oh,
they won't do because of fucking shit houses, that's why.
I mean, if you are happy enough to pay $30 a month to disrupt services, then you are a twat. That's the word that I will continue to use. You are a twat. You are a twat waffle. That's what you are. I mean, don't get me wrong. Actually, more to the point, babe, don't forget to redeem your sprinkles on your chat there. I mean,
sorry, mate. Just sat there, do you know what I mean? Just sat there.
Yeah. I'm fully on board. If you don't like the way a company is using the brand that you want, if you feel the service isn't up to par, whatever, feel free to vote with your wallet. But when I say that, I mean, do not buy their services, do not buy their products. Step away, walk away from it. Do not damage that service for them and for other people. Do not try attack a publisher and a developer because you're not happy with the way that the game is. I don't know the reasoning for them attacking Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know enough about them or many Ubisoft games really. But whatever your reason is, it's not good enough. No. There is no reason for you to disrupt someone else's playing an enjoyment of a game or attack a company that has thousands of people working for it, trying to provide for their families as well as trying to provide games for us. Because you're not happy with it, if you are paying $30 a month to disrupt other people's fun because you're not having fun, you are a twat, Waffle. That is it. That is it.
You literally need to get a life. This tickled me. The lawsuit says that the defendants admitted they created the seizure notice, open quotes, in order to get Ubisoft to admit that they have a problem, end quotes. What the fuck?
Yeah, we did it because we want them to say they've got a problem. Yeah, the problem is you, twat Waffle. Stop it. I mean, embedded within the article is Ubisoft's DDoS alert lawsuit, which is a very, 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 very long...
124 pages.
Yeah, so we won't be going through that because it includes things like jurisdictions and venues and who the parties are and whatever.
Oh, shit, yeah, it names them as well.
Yeah, so, I mean... Not going to go through that because that would take a long time.
Oh, that's amazing. So I hope that, one, they get some jail time over this. Two, I hope they become financially bankrupt. There is no way that you can't stop someone from playing games, but I would actually hope that they actually get named and shamed. Well, I mean, they put a tweet out which has now been taken down, I assume, because it will be used against them in evidence. But I hope that they are excommunicated from any kind of community that they decide to join in the future. I cannot believe that these people still exist. These people need to go out and get a job, get a life, get a partner, or just do something that doesn't involve anybody else, because you're a fucking idiot.
It's stupid. I mean, I've said it quite a few times in the last week. I think I even said it to you yesterday about something else. Imagine loving something so much that you have to kill it. I love you so much that because you aren't providing me with the level of happiness that I want you to provide me with, I think that you aren't worthy of my love, so I'm going to kill you. That's psychopathic behaviour.
Maybe it's not just that. Maybe they think it's a laugh because it's not just one person that they're going after. It's a group of people. So these lot will be in little WhatsApp, little Discord. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm taking it down. Fucking idiots.
Hashtag twatwaffle, says number one pirate in the chat. Exactly. I mean, I do side with a lot of people, because as a person that's grown up with games, I do side with people when they have frustrations quite often. For professionalism, I don't always say that because, you know, I either just don't want to comment against brands in the games industry, or I am contracted to not be able to comment, whatever the reason is. So I see a lot of frustrations and I side with a lot of people, even though I can't always openly say it. But that, I will never, ever side with you. You are never, ever in the right for doing something like that.
That's it, yeah. You're pretty much guaranteed that if it's a game that they like and they were DDS'd out of it, they will be the first to cry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolute shit. Yesterday, going back to PUBG, I played PUBG last night in solos, and there was two people playing, two Xbox players on the same team in solos. They basically jumped in the same game, and so I'm melting one guy, and I saw another guy coming up behind me. I thought, oh, he's going to take him out, I'll fight him instead then. And no, they both stood there side by side shooting at me. I died, and then they were clearly both playing together or whatever. And that pisses me off. That you're a twat waffle for doing that, going into solos and then playing as a duo, finding each other and cheating. That's teaming. But that is a world away. That's fucking bannable for me.
Yeah.
You disrupted someone's game, but actively paying to physically damage the architecture that hosts the game for everyone else. Nah, mate. Anyway, I've said hashtag twatwaffle enough times. That is beyond refute. That is what they are, twatwaffles. Fatman Dave 8572, good morning, David, says you're pretty guaranteed that if a game they like gets DDoSed, they would be the first to cry about it. Yeah, exactly. Bib just said the same thing. I mean, did you pick that comment out?
I did, yeah.
You did, well done. I just thought you were just offering a comment, didn't realise.
No input.
I totally agree with Mitch.
Fuck off, pirate. So, do you watch Modern Family?
No.
Greatest TV show, like TV sitcom there's probably ever been, like in America, for America anyway. Better than Friends, better than Married with Show, better than everything. There's a character in there called Mitch. very ginger. So they were doing, you know, them things on Instagram where you like show your face. It shows you how old you are, what character you are in a particular thing. I ended up getting Mitch. He's a good-looking lad. Yes. So that's me, Jesse Tyler.
Oh. Can't really show it because I'm attached to my infuser and everything because it's charging and
but yeah, that's a huge statement for something like Modern Family. It's amazing. It literally is the best TV program. The amount of times there's like 11 seasons. I think they're on season 11 now. It's amazing.
So they're still flogging the dead horse then?
No, they've only got like 4 episodes left, I think, of this season. That's it then. Done. Finito.
Better than Friends, not like this.
It is better than Friends.
Okay.
It is better than Friends. Friends is fucking boring now. Like it's been on a million times. Like you can go onto Channel 5 or Comedy Central and you can guarantee to sit there and watch an episode of Friends.
So yeah, that's fatigue though. In terms of, it's not necessarily a slight on the content. That's a slight on how many times you've said. Say psych right now. Say psych right now.
Friends is boring, mate. It's dead. It's been there, done that. It's boring. You know what I mean? I used to love Friends, and now I just can't stand the fucking thing. It's boring.
Okay. One day in the next 20 years, I may watch some Modern Family. I probably won't, but I may watch some Modern Family, and I'll give you my. Do you know? Hey Alexa, turn off the scoop.
You can rewatch Friends over and over. You can, but it'll get fucking boring. I'm telling you this from experience.
I reckon if you watched anything over that, so Modern Family, if you watch that over, you probably
a billion times, mate. I swear to God, Samantha will have this on in the front room now.
I will leave Friends on and watch it over and over and over.
Can't be asked
I'm not bored of Friends, and I've watched it a bajillion times.
Yeah, can't be asked. What Modern Family is better than Friends. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. Shit take inbound.
If you believe that this is a shit take, then please feel free to let us know by tweeting hashtag Bibby is the twat waffle at ice cream. Don't do that. Don't do that. Twat waffle is a serious but funny phrase that we save for actual twat waffles. so don't waste it on Bibby and the Modern Family. Anyway, jumping back into the news, going to bring this article up onto the screen, and I've got different one to Bib. That's the one. I had Dother next to it. So this, written by Game Central, they are back writing content for Metro. I swear that is an actual person. Mr. Central, first name Game. What would you like to write for at Metro? Well, I'm really into meteorology, so I'm thinking I can do the weather. No, you can do games. Fuck! God!
Mr. Central.
Either that or it's like nominal determination, where you are given a name and that determines what you do. So your name has an input on where you go in your life, like Arsene Wenger being the Arsenal manager.
Yeah.
So Game Central. Oh well, that's me. So then everyone knows what I'm doing.
See, sorry, just to go back to the comments. Beans just put Bibby is right. Know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I'm not the only person in the world.
The thing is, though, Beans is an incredibly nice person, and he often says something that he doesn't believe just to make other people feel
Beans
good.
is 100% accurate with everything that he says.
It's alright, Beans, we know. We get it. You're just trying to make him not look...
Nope.
Yeah, it's fine. We get it. We understand.
Anyway,
Rockstar Games under pressure from Beans agreeing with Bibby because he doesn't believe it, from Take-Two to make more games, claim rumours. So, new rumours suggest that Take-Two are leaning on Rockstar to make more games more quickly, but also to make them shorter. As crazy as it sounds, it's now 7 years since Rockstar made a new Grand Theft Auto game, and it seems as if owners Take-Two Interactive are beginning to get as fed up of it as fans already are. Stop! As fans already are. Are fans really... I hate where
that's a big
articles, just take a leap and go, I'm commenting on this as if it is fact. Fans aren't fed up at it. We spoke last week. It's the number one selling game of the decade.
Yep. Currently still in the charts, I might add. It's been in the charts now since the game came out 7 years ago. Like you look at any top 20 of any console that Grand Theft Auto is on, it's going to be there. 7 years later, the biggest amount of money profit. Fuck me, the amount of oh my god! It's a game that's made the most profit of any media ever. Doesn't matter if it's film, TV, or whatever. Grand Theft Auto 5 is the daddy of them all.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one is fed up with this game.
Number one selling game of the decade. In the top 10 of selling games every single year since its release. But fans are already getting fed up of it. I know Take-Two or Interactive are getting as fed up as fans are. Okay, what about the GTA RP stuff that's still everywhere, even with the likes of Fortnite Chapter 2 and Tarkov having its revival and stuff like that? GTA RP is still up there, but yeah, fans are already fed up. So
they're probably getting more pissed off at the fact that they're not... that the mods and RP servers and stuff like that are taking off more than anything that they can put into the game. I don't know, but I mean, the first line, Rockstar to make more games more quickly. I don't think, does that make sense?
They basically
are leaning on Rockstar to make games quicker.
Yeah, they want more games out of them, so that rather than having one game every 7 years or whatever, more games more quickly. So give us lots more games. So we don't just want Rockstar and Red Dead. We want 5 other titles, and we want one every year, every 2 years or whatever.
Just do bully.
Jumping back in, of course, being one of the most successful video games ever, no, the most successful video game ever, pretty much, does make Grand Theft Auto 5 a special case, especially as its online content is constantly being updated, but it seems Take-Two would prefer shorter gaps between new releases. Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick implied as much back in June last year when he said of future plans, it's possible that games may be a bit shorter than they were in certain instances. It's possible that the ability to deliver content on an ongoing basis for a long time after an initial release of a hit would mean that perhaps that initial release wouldn't be as long in terms of number of hours of gameplay as previously had been demanded, in a world where that was all you were getting. Zelnick wasn't specifically referring to Rockstar when he said that, rather Take-Two in general, but YouTuber Swagter now claims that Rockstar is under pressure to return to their more frequent game release schedule. It's implied this would mean more smaller titles such as Bully and Manhunt, the likes of which Rockstar hasn't made for years, as well as have an impact on larger scale games like GTA and Red Dead Redemption. Given Zelnick's earlier comments, it certainly seems like something Take-Two and fans would like to happen. Why put in and fans? Stop talking for the fans. That's bullshit. And given Zelnick's early comments, it certainly seems like something Take-Two would like to happen, but Rockstar are notorious for doing their own thing. There's still no clue as to if and when a GTA 6 might be released, and with the next generation of consoles coming up, it's likely that the current priority for Rockstar is simply creating of a new version of GTA 5 for them. But the implication is that Take-Two as a whole will also be stepping up their release schedules, as, despite being one of the biggest publishers around and having another cash cow in NBA 2K, they release very few other games. The newly announced Bioshock game seems to be one attempt to reverse this, but that won't be out for years, so it remains to be seen how much influence Take-Two can exert over Rockstar and how much they can increase their own output. I mean, I think this is taking all of the leaps. It's written based on one YouTuber's comment that that GTA are being Rockstar are being forced to release more games. That's possible. Take-Two could be going, do you know what, you guys are actually shit hot. You make games that sell bajillions, make more, so that you can earn more and we can all earn more. Can you do that? I think that's possible. It's always possible those conversations could be happening. But there's no way that you would say, okay, what's good about your game is that it comes out and it lasts 7 years and it's massive and people love it. There's no way that you would just go, okay, sack that off completely and give us a really short story at the beginning, so we don't want a 40-hour GTA story that leads into online, because you'd lose me then. I don't play much GTA Online. I've done a decent amount of hours dicking about in different modes and stuff, but not a lot of hours by any stretch. So I've played enough. More than some, but probably not as many as a lot.
Yeah.
If that 40-hour story at the beginning wasn't there, you'd lose me. It was like, well, if I'm just playing it for an online game, then I'm not going to bother. And that's kind of the way that's reading. And I think that's where it's a pinch. And saying that fans are fed up and fans are pissed off and fans want more games. Yeah, fans want more games. But they're not going to go, well, fuck up the ones that I've got to give me more. That's not how it works.
Well, we saw Red Dead come out. The single player campaign, it probably wasn't as good as the first one, but people still enjoyed it. The online stuff, I don't even know if anyone still plays the online part of it, but we featured some rumours of what seemed to be Bully 2 being made, but they wasn't happy with the direction that they was going in, so they just canned it, which I am, do you know what, fair play. You started it, you didn't know where the story was going to go, you wasn't too happy with how it was coming out, you decided to kill it. You'll probably come back in about another 2 or 3 years, that's fine, take your time with it, don't put this shit out, which is kind of contradictory to my statement earlier about the games being delayed and things like that. But like Craig just put in there, this is why Rockstar games are decent. They treat them like the fine wine rather than smashing garbage out. And I fully agree with him on that. GTA 5 is so good because they've taken their time with it. They've taken the game, if its first instance 7 years ago, and made it into what it is today, which is still played by millions of people. It still gets sold thousands of copies a day. It's still in the charts every single week. You can't just bang them games out and expect them to be a success. We've seen that with Red Dead. There's a reason why there hasn't been a Manhunt in years. The time of shock and horror when it comes to games like Manhunt, which was banned in a lot of countries, by the way, the first one when it came out, that you could release that game now, no one would care. There's a game called Thrill Kill that didn't even see the light of day years and years ago on the PlayStation 1.
I remember playing Thrill Kill, and I remember thinking, this is shit compared to what I expected it to be.
But it was banned in so many countries that it never saw the light of day. They just didn't want to bring it out because at the time it was shock and awe of the media getting hold of it and saying that the games cause violence, which funnily enough is still the debate going on today. But yeah, it's don't shove out games just for the sake of them. Take your time with them. Again, I'm just kind of contradicting myself for the first statement that I made. Putting a release date on something and not meeting that date for whatever purpose is different to just starting the game and then realising 20% of the way through that this game isn't going to be what we designed it to be. We're going to scrap it, we'll shelve it, we'll get back onto GTA or something like that. It's the fans of Rockstar will... It's same with Bethesda. We've seen that with Doom, there wasn't that much backlash when it got delayed because we knew what we were getting. It was going to be a Doom game, it was going to be gory, it was going to be over the top. You expect that from a Doom game. If you want to put more polish on it, fair enough, leave it for another couple of months, that's fine. But, fans will not turn their backs on games like this because we know what we're going to get in the end product. I don't like people making assumptions on what people like because I like completely different games to what you like, but we're both still fans of GTA and we're both still in agreement that it's still a fucking wicked game.
Yeah. The comments in the chat, Connor says, same here, GTA for me is all about the initial single player, and Craig says they've missed a trick not giving us some single player DLC.
Absolutely.
Too. I think that would potentially come down to, what was it, like Ballad of Gay Tony for GTA 4, yeah. And then there was a few other as well. And I don't think they're sold anywhere near as well as the main game, because obviously the downside with single player DLC stuff is whether I always get the impression that wasn't planned. It was kind of they added it on at the end, and I just don't feel it adds. It's like you watch a TV program, you want the next chapter or a new series that follows on, and I feel like a DLC should, even though smaller, should be like a new series that kind of builds a really meaningful story. Quite often it feels like it's tacked on and it's not as good as the original storyline. Well,
my thoughts on that is we've kind of come full circle when it comes to single player games again. People are wanting single player experiences. The fact that I don't think many people played the DLCs as well as they predicted them to was because they brought out GTA Online. As soon as you finish my brother will never play. Like, he shouldn't, in my eyes, he probably shouldn't be playing it now, but he is playing Grand Theft Auto. He won't be playing the single-player story. He's a young lad, he wants to play with his mates online, but people who enjoy playing GTA will want to go back to the story now. If you brought a DLC out, chances are people are going to be going back to playing that again.
Well, even if you jump back, like last gen, GTA 4 and Red Dead. So Red Dead had Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare that came out, which I bought. Sack of shit, by the way. Fucking love Red Dead Redemption. Undead Nightmare, just not at all. It was, oh look, zombies and stuff, and monotonous, repetitive. Obviously GTA and Red Dead share a lot of the same mechanics. You just change cars for horses. But like, they used to have like, oh, a gang is taking over our hood, we need to go and beat them back. And it was essentially just shitloads of that. Oh, there's a zombie horde popped up here, go and kill them, take it back. Oh, zombie horde's popped up here. And then it's like, oh, do this mission, yeah. Oh, zombies. And it's like, fuck off with these zombies.
Yeah.
I want to. And it was just like filled, like separate the wheat from the chaff. GTA, Red Dead Redemption was wheat.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare was a bit weak, but shitloads of chaff to make it seem like.
Well, I think they had their mindset on what, because Black Ops just come out. I think around fuzzy. I'm sure Black Ops was around that time where they had the zombie horde mode. So they thought, fuck it, we can make Red Dead with zombies.
Yeah.
It's a money spinner. People are going to buy it, and saps like us ended up buying it.
I think that's the reason why there's been such an emphasis on GTA Online, though, because trying to build in that single-player DLC, they've clearly got writers that can do it, but for whatever reason, it may just be a cost-benefit analysis. Yeah. It could be a case of it takes time to develop a story and then have the developers and artists create that story visually on screen, whereas we could just make something a lot quicker in online, and we will all earn more money, and players will get more gameplay out of it. It's shit for single players, but yeah, I think that's potentially the trade-off. I would like more single-player content personally, but if the options were get rid of single-player content and get rid of that online additions to GTA Online so that I can get a new GTA that's shorter every couple of years. I don't want short GTA. Absolutely. I want that experience.
Absolutely. I want a 40-hour Vice City experience again on glorious PS5 hardware.
It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Call of Duties, I like Modern Warfares and Black Ops and things like that. But when you talk about a Call of Duty game, there maybe is one or two that might stick out. You might go, oh, fucking love World at War. Shout out to the World at War posse, by the way. Bouncing Betters, you're my boy. Or Modern Warfares, obviously. But you don't speak about Black Ops 3 in the same same sort of like vein of thought as you do like Vice City.
Yeah.
That was a formative game, and a Modern Warfare, even the likes of Modern Warfare. You love the game, and it was a formative game, but in a different sort of way. It was a formative game that you play repetitive gameplay with your friends and stuff. But in terms of a gameplay experience, Vice City, San Andreas, shit, here we go again. That's still memeing these days. That's because it was such an experience. So turning it into a shorter 2-3 hour one that you can get in the next part in a couple of years, that's not a bad thing. That's what Assassin's Creed should be. Every 2-3 years, get that jump in. Quicker release thing. That's fine for Ubisoft, but Ubisoft aren't making as much money as Take-Two are. Ubisoft, in their last few calls, have done that badly with Ghost Recon and Breakpoint. So why would you want to copy a shit model? I don't think that's what they will be doing. If I'm honest, I think this is a YouTuber has picked up some comments, turned it into a story that Game Central have then just exacerbated and turned into a piece of shit. So.
Well, you featured on the scoop, so obviously you've done well.
I mean, top quality clickbaiting, don't believe it. Anyway, let's finish things up with something that is a little bit more guaranteed. This did actually break last week initially, but it was kind of like all hearsay, rumours and stuff. And last week there was so many delays and things, we just didn't want to comment on all the rumour stuff when we could talk about stuff that was actually happening. Anyway, it seems like it is actually a bit of a thing. There we go. Written by BG 24/7, even by Emily Gira. She says PlayStation appears to get a new slogan ahead of the PS5 reveal. PlayStation's long-used slogan "for the players" could be on the way out. Which, just going to stop there for a second, I would fully expect, because it originally launched as "for the players" with a number 4 for PS4. So you would expect that to be the case. As spotted by Twitter user @Videotech_, PlayStation Europe's official Twitter has changed the slogan used in its profile to not it is, but "it's time to play." Throughout this past console generation, PlayStation has used slogans including "for the players" and "best place to play." The "it's time to play" tagline has been used previously in advertising but hasn't reached full slogan status. So is this yet another sign of an impending PS5 reveal? Well, any changes to official PlayStation social pages could be significant, given we're expecting the new console to be revealed soon. Or, utterly insignificant and totally meaningless. Yay! Rumours are rumours. PlayStation's changing slogan was predicted by the notorious 4chan in a since-deleted PS5 info leak last week, and that's the comment I made before I started reading it, saying that it kind of started surfacing. And as usual with leaks like this, it is worth taking with a grain of salt. We've included the highlights from the post below. So PS5 reveal event set for the 5th of February 2020. PS5 release date is in October 2020. PS5 price is $499 or £449. Only one model, not two, like Lockhart and Scarlet, is it? The Series X ones. PS5 launch games include Gran Turismo 7, MLB The Show 21, Demon's Souls Remastered, Godfall, and Legends with a Z, which is a new IP from Sony Santa Monica Studio. Games teased at the PS5 reveal will be Horizon Zero Dawn sequel, Marvel's Spider-Man sequel, a new sci-fi IP from Naughty Dog, a new IP from Sony Interactive Entertainment Japan, a new IP from London Studios, and Final Fantasy 16, couldn't read Roman numerals then, plus a new Resident Evil.
Nope.
PS5 specs are almost on par with Xbox Series X. Leak claims Series X is more expensive, PS5 more powerful than the cheaper Xbox Lockhart. The PS5 slogan is "It's time to play." The PS5 launches sometime this year, but don't expect to reveal at E3 2020, as Sony already confirmed it won't be coming in the meantime. Click through their link there if you want to see more. So yes, it's time to play.
If that is potentially the price you've won, because you said 479 and I said 379.
Yeah, I expected it to be like around the 500 sort of mark. So the fact it's only 450 kind of is closer to PS4 Pro priceage.
I can't see Demon's Souls Remastered being a launch game title. Godfall's already been confirmed. Gran Turismo 7, that's a good move. MLB is absolutely massive in America, obviously not in Europe, but yeah, that'll be a cracking launch title. Legends, no idea what that is. Horizon Zero Dawn sequels as for the reveal. I don't think they show it that early.
See, I could see that.
A new Spider-Man sequel as well this early.
I could see that too. Partially because I think it'll be close to 500 quid. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. I still like the never underestimate the power of PlayStation slogan. It's just a bit wordy. Putting that in a tweet, that's like half your character's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you ain't hashtagging that shit, are you?
But yeah, I can see. I mean, Horizon Zero Dawn sequel is going to happen. It absolutely has to.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to tease it at the reveal. That seems weird.
The thing is, though, games like Horizon and Spider-Man will sell you consoles.
Okay, so this date is 2 weeks away. This 5th of February. You think that we're going to see a new Horizon Zero Dawn in 2 weeks' time?
I think we could see teasers. Bearing in mind that a tease could just be a quick 5, 10, 15 second thingy of, or it could be Spider-Man swooping past the screen or something.
I don't want a cinematic. I want, because you showing a cinematic of the game doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah, but that's not a tease. If you want a full trailer, then that's a different thing. That says games teased at PS5 reveal. I could see teasers for those, and you could still be a year away.
This is a teaser. This on the wall is a teaser. You're seeing the scoop. Do you know what I mean? But a teaser, I don't want it just to flash up for 5 seconds to say Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
They're not going to show you that when the console hasn't even been shown yet, though,
well, that's what I mean. I'm not going to see any game, because for me, a teaser, it has to show something, not just a little cinematic that they could mock up in 2 seconds, like you say, of Spider-Man swinging through towards the camera. I want to see like the HUD and stuff like that. That for me is a teaser.
Yeah, but that's a gameplay reveal. If a teaser would be something that shows you Spider-Man that you've seen, but that has the benefits of the ray tracing, that shows you the stuff that what they were talking about originally in that Wired demonstration, where they were saying the city loads in no time, it all looks better. You want something that shows that. Oh yeah, something that gives you, if it's 5 seconds, if it's 10 seconds, if it's whatever, that lets you see something that's okay. That's different. That's new. That's exciting. It's only a teaser. There's no deep insights into the gameplay, but I could see that.
What I mean is more like a small slither of a cutscene from the game. Like, you must have seen it on TV. There's a thing. It's an advert for a proper shit mobile game called like Faux.tv or something like that, where it says like, this is not gameplay footage, and it's of like a caveman coming out, and then all of a sudden he turns into a king because he's built a massive kingdom and things like that. I don't want that shit.
Yeah. That's different. Hashtag ad, says Connor. Let's jump back for the chat. Most likely 450, 479. In regards to Spider-Man, I think there will be one launch, but not a full-on sequel. Demon's Souls remake is like 2. Bluepoint been known to be working on that for a while. I'm not on board for not gameplay footage stuff, but I wouldn't expect that. I think from this sort of event, if they come out with CGI stuff that isn't gameplay, that's not using the game engine, not in-game footage, because quite often you'll see it. You do sometimes see it, like I remember a GTA "Welcome to the Jungle" trailer, and some of it said actual game footage and end sequence, not game footage, because then it's like, okay, well, this is purely for marketing purposes, but this is actual gameplay. I think we have to see stuff that has all been rendered in game or generated. Yeah,
that's what I want to see. I don't want to see like a made for reveal trailer. Like again, for fuck's sake, I'm going to bring it up again. Resident Evil 2 one, when eventually we got to see the teaser of that. We've got to see a teaser of that. It was two people scrapping, and then Leon comes through a door and shoots one of the guys, and it's showing you what Leon's going to look like in the game. It looked fantastic because of the engine that they was using. That for me is a nice teaser. It was 30 seconds long. We got to see what the character models look like. We got to see what the in-game engine can look like. That was perfect. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see a made-for trailer teaser.
I wouldn't expect that. Not at the launch of new technology.
Yeah,
I'd fully expect. I mean, we're not going to get like a full first look trailer. Maybe we will. Maybe we'll get first look trailers where it shows you kind of like a bit more of how Spider-Man and the enemies and gives you hints as what the storyline. I personally think we probably wouldn't get to that bit where we're getting the hints towards the storyline. I would expect it could just be something like Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn with, like, I mean, not that her visual fidelity on her face and her hair and everything wasn't spot on anyway, but it could be like something that looks hyper realistic, and she could just be like, I don't know, some marketing, back again, or kept you waiting, or whatever, or something like that sort of stuff, where you saw Snake pop over the hill for the Metal Gear Solid 5 Phantom Pain, kept you waiting, and that was in-game stuff, and I think that is what we'd kind of be looking at. I think Sony will do their PS5 event in February, March, before E3, so third-party devs and pubs can talk about their new games there. Yeah, I think that's kind of nailed on for me as well.
I've seen Ed Sutton talk about the new IP from London Studio, which potentially could be a new Getaway.
It's not a new IP though, that.
No, I know.
Unless it's something that's been lost in communication. Unless it's...
Well, this is from 4chan, innit? So people just make shit up on there all the time. But I can't see Final Fantasy 16 being teased before we've got Final Fantasy 7 remake. Can't see that being the case.
Unless that's part of the Oh no, because it'll be coming out in February. Yeah.
I can't see that, and I also can't see a new Resident Evil being teased before Resident Evil 3 comes out. So I think them two are just pipe dreams, if I'm being honest. But
I could, we'll see. Depending on how you could see Final Fantasy 16 being teased with the idea that by Final Fantasy 7 and you'll get this, or this will be in it, or whatever. I could see that sort of stuff, but I do see it as pretty unlikely, because you are kind of taking the wheels off. But that said, some people will want to play Final Fantasy 7 because I want 16. 7 was 10 games ago almost, mate. But I mean that's the bit where you kind of like merge old with new. Launch-wise, earliest October and latest end of November. Yeah, fully agree for the Christmas window. To be honest, Dino Crisis, we riot.
Absolutely exactly. Absolutely exactly.
Bibby keeps walking around the office and the studio doing Velociraptor impressions. It's like, Bibby, God's sake, you sound more like a penguin than a velociraptor. I would. Spider-Man might be able to be ready because they look like they had the bones of a story ready with Harry Osborn in it. If that's in the Spider-Man storyline, spoilers, not played it, so I'm not going to read the rest of that. Hey lads, just dropping in to say hi before bed. How's things, Aimbot Christian? I mean, obviously get you sleeping, you've got to be up early. Those crunchers aren't going to do themselves. You've got a fight ahead of you.
Morning, mate.
Next Gen Renegade says a new Getaway could potentially be so good. A New Order 1886-2 is something I'm looking forward to. I think Craig's the only person I know that played that game.
No, I didn't. I was going to get it, but then I found out, like, this is very unusual for me, but the story was on like 6 to 8 hours long, and I was like, I'm not paying £45 for that shit.
How long was the story in Resident Evil 2?
About 11. Well, it's Resident Evil, you know what I mean? You got to play that shit. But I mean, Resident Evil added replay value, you know what I mean? You can play it like 40 times. I'm not playing.
You can.
Yeah, I'm not playing the 1886 for like 6 hours. Fuck that. That's where I draw the line.
So potential stuff. A new sci-fi IP from Naughty Dog. That would be interesting, because Naughty Dog. What I like about Naughty Dog is that, I mean, the thing is, it's prevalent across all of my games, not just FPSs. But I like when I say boots on the ground. For me, I don't necessarily mean soldiers that are wearing boots on the ground. What I mean is real world relativity, and that's what I love about Naughty Dog, is the fact that their real world relativity is that paternal tie to Joel, that helplessness feeling that Ellie has. Nathan Drake wanting to look after people around him and having a bit jokey but also a bit serious and trying to find out where he belongs in the world, and that sort of stuff, that real feeling emotion stuff is cool. And seeing that on ground, on grass, on sand, hanging off a mountain, in a submarine halfway up a whatever, it's all really cool, but seeing that in space is a bit different. What were you chuckling at then? I saw you smiling.
So, Pirate says that I missed the getaway, although hopefully it won't look like he's wanking when he's resting up his elbow. That's what I mean.
I didn't know what that was until Pirate or someone mentioned the getaway, and we loaded up the video whilst I was at home on stream, and I was like, wow, this is new to me.
It's very odd. Like, I know Marlon Anthony ended up replaying, or tried to play again the getaway, and I said, just don't do it. I said, whatever you've got in your head, keep that.
Rose tinted.
Yeah, just don't go back to it because it's shit, because I did it like a year ago and I'm devastated that I ended up doing it. Driving's clunky, shooting's clunky, you can't see around the wall, so you're guaranteed to take a bullet as soon as you walk around it.
Like when
it's so dated.
We played PES 6 on the Xbox 360, and because it didn't have any of the patches, you were just like,
why are we even bothering?
Although, let me just read those two comments in situ. Although, hopefully it won't look like he's wanking when he's resting to get his health up. Next Gen Renegade says, yeah, it was short and needed a bit of work, but the idea and concept was brilliant. Way, let's. So yeah, final bits. Naughty Dog Sci-Fi, new IP from Sony Japan. I mean, that's very possible. New IP from London Studio. That's the interesting one. Obviously, there is a bunch of IPs there, but what, the new one?
Yeah.
Interesting. Final Fantasy 16, always possible. New Resident Evil. I mean, nobody really interested in those games. Why are you even bothering? Don't even mention it. PS5, almost on par with Series X. That kind of you'd expect as well. Obviously, Xbox were ahead with the Xbox One X over the Pro and stuff like that. The power, having the most powerful console doesn't mean anything if you don't have the best games. Xbox are obviously building towards that. They're not going to release anything exclusive for the first couple of years, but then we'll start to get to that point. So yeah, I'm not bothered about the power. I want the experiences. If you have all the chipsets and processors in the world, doesn't mean anything unless you've got the games. And hopefully we get a bunch on both formats this time. One thing I was going to say though, I can't remember now. It's completely gone out of my mind. No, I don't remember. It was a hot take as well. It was the world's best take, but I can't remember.
If it was anything like my shit takes, then you know what I mean.
I do know what I mean. But you guys know what we mean. Let's wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. We have been live for a good hour and a half. Oof. Decent scoop today. That's what happens when you get some chunky news in it. Nice inception there. You added the word chunky to my mind. That's what happens when you went chunky. I went, get some chunky news in here. Straight in my mind. What? So yes, this has been the scoop, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see on screen, my name is Grandy. This is the baby. We bring you the scoop each and every single weekday, 10 a.m. We will be back tomorrow with more scoop fun times. But stick around on this channel. Josie will be live in around 7 minutes. Yeah. So not long to turn the studio around. But we will go offline and we will be back with some Death Stranding playthroughs. Feel free to get involved. Stick around. Ta-ra! Says that's him.
Ta-ra.
GGWP dropping in the chat with Connor using the exclusive ice cream emotes that you get if you subscribe to the channel. Feel free to do that. There's a button at the top of the screen somewhere kind of over that direction. Hit it if you want to subscribe. All revenues earned from subscriptions go back into the channel, which is where we get these cool lights and we get the TV screens and the desk and the fact that we can change the camera to bring you in here and then put you back over there. Yeah, so we can do all that stuff from subscriptions. Feel free to do drop us a subscription. What was the name of that person that we were linking in the Slack yesterday? You guys sitting here watching and not even spending $5 to subscribe.
Whopper.
I mean, part of Bad Bunny. That was it. Bad Bunny on Twitch. Yeah, there's some poisonous, toxic clips going around of her getting angry at her subs not subscribing, and I just want to say I completely agree with her. No, I'm only joking.
Give me your fucking money.
You have all these hours and not $5. Disgusting.
Scruffy bitch.
Absolute animal. Feel free to subscribe. You don't have to. Just being here is enough. If you do want to hit the follow button, though, that will let you know when we go live, so you know when to come back. One thing to mention, we do have some extra goodies. Actually, I can see them. I'm going to run and grab them.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what's going on? What's going on? Yes, okay.
So we've mentioned Resident Evil. If you were watching the video now, the stream, or on YouTube, you can see that this is a Resident Evil 2 mug. As well as a Resident Evil 2 mug, we have a Resident Evil 2, is it a bomber jacket? Not a bomber, a varsity jacket. And then as well as a Resident Evil 2 varsity jacket, we have an RPD, Raccoon Police Department t-shirt. Hopefully you heard all of that, because I forgot I was at the other side of the microphone and I'm not wearing that.
Turn the gain up.
So yeah, we have those goodies being given away. Check out the link in the chat. Connor has linked you through to it. That's our pinned tweet on Twitter.
What a guy.
Go there, there's a Gleam competition running where you can enter for a chance to win these goodies in our giveaway. But before we disappear, anything else you want to add, Bib?
Yeah, I didn't get a fucking cup, did I? That's a good cup.
Well, do you know how you can get that?
Shall I enter the Gleam competition?
I think you should. Do you know where that is?
It is our pinned tweet on Twitter.
Oh, nice. You should check it out.
Yes, we will. But no. If you do see any news around the video game hemisphere, then please do feel free to use any of the links that are now in the chat or Ice Cream Uploads across all social medias to @us or myself. We've got with Binio at Graham_Day, and we'll be able to feature that news article the very next day.
Yeah, so that is it. As mentioned, Josie will now be here in just less than 5 minutes with some Death Stranding, so I'm going to keep talking and taking and padding the time so Bibi has no time to rearrange the studio. I'm joking. Thank you for the links in the chat, Pirate. Feel free to check out all social media. As mentioned, the full video will be live on YouTube in around an hour, and then the audio podcast will be out a little bit later on today. But speaking fast, that is the end of the show. One thing that I hadn't mentioned, ! Merch. Apparently just put it in the chat if you want some Ice Cream Uploads merch as well. But check it out. Have yourselves a very lovely day. Josie will be back very soon, and until those 3 minutes time, make sure you guys stay frosty.